The Bigfooty Port Adelaide podcast is proudly sponsored by New Vision.
My team, Conda, power. I love the power. I love the power. I love the power.
Next player is kind of similar, which is Joe Atley from Bendigo Pioneers. He's 186 centimetres, 84 kilo inside midfielder. My player comparison would be someone like Nathan Jones. He's very tough. He's got a ready-to-play AFL body. He's very strong. He's got a brutal attack at the ball. I thought he had a pretty good underrated championships. Didn't get, probably didn't do a hell of a lot, but he still averaged, 20 touches a game. And look, he's had a really good year in the TAC Cup. Averaged 21 disposals and 6.5 tackles a game. He's got great pace, really good skills. He's one of my absolute favourites of this draft pool.
Yeah, me too. And what that means for me is not that I think he's, going to get drafted early, but that I have to be careful not to overrate him. He's a really smart footballer. There were some criticisms about times that, you think he might get involved a bit more, but I think, he's a younger brother of Sean Atley at North Melbourne. And I kind of wonder if there's a bit of younger brother syndrome there, in that he's used to playing a secondary, being the secondary person. So if he's told to play at the Vic Country Championships, McCluggage is the main guy and you're the second. Yeah. I don't think he's going to fight for it. I think he's just going to do what he can in that role. And that's, really that's kind of the cornerstone of good team players, having players that are willing to do that. So maybe that's actually a good thing. He's still getting his possessions up. He's still being really useful. And when it's time for him to go and be the one that does compete against a bunch of other players, he does it. There's one favourite in the Allies game, Vic Country versus Allies in the first quarter. He gets a free against, but he does beat 4 Allies players to win the ball in the first quarter. When it's a loose ball, he'll get in there. He will contest when it's on him. And I think that's what you need to ask for in a guy who maybe is your second option in midfield, is to be the one that can step up, and I think he can. He's got the right height and the right build. He already knows what professional football is about, again, because of his older brother. I get the Josh Carr feels when I was watching him under 18s.
That's a good call.
Josh Carr was a bit smaller, but he was really good at reading the play and understanding what was going on, and I feel the same thing about Joe Atley. There's just something there. He's not physically superior to a whole bunch of players in this one, but he just seems to know the game, and I'm really stoked about that. I would find it really hard not to draft him with pick 17 if he's there, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, what do you see his draft range being? Because
I don't know.
Someone that hasn't had a lot of press. No one's really sort of brought up his name as sort of first round, potential, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I really like about Joe Atley, and I would certainly be pretty happy if we picked him with pick 17. I think certainly if he's there with 30 or 31, and there is a chance that he will be there. If we don't pick him there, I'll be pretty disappointed. Because I think in terms of how he fits for Port Adelaide, he is pretty well exactly what we are after at the moment.
Yeah, I did watch a little clip of video where he's on Future Stars, and apparently he was a Brisbane Lions fan when he was a kid, which is interesting. Well, it's unfortunate in a way, because they've got better picks to draft where I think he might go than we do. So if they're not forced to make early bids on some things, he'll probably end up there. I don't know. I like him a lot, and if he ends up at Port, I'll be really, really stoked. But I could be overrating him enormously.
Yeah. Well, look, I really like him. I think he's got definite AFL potential, definite AFL midfield potential. I think he'll start on a back flank. Can also play on a forward flank as well, kicks goals. I would. I'm CEO for the Draft Joe Atley fan club, I think.
Okay. Well, look, I guess my only disagreement with that is that I would rather see him play on a forward flank, because I think he's showing a tendency right now, and it's only a tendency right now, to be willing to let others go in first. So I think a halfback role wouldn't be great for him in that respect. I would like to see him. Yep. I would like to see him grow into accepting the responsibility for being the one driving it. I think that's what he needs in his game. So I would definitely play him half forward if I'm playing him in a non-midfield role.
For sure. The next player that I want to talk about is one of my favourites in this draft. I've got him at number 9 in my rankings, and that's a hell of a lot higher than I think a lot of other people do, and that's Joe Atley from Vic Country. I think he is an absolute gun in the making. And if he is there at pick 30 or 31, I'm going to be absolutely distraught if we don't pick him.
Yep. If I can
He's at
say
12 on mine, so yep.
he's really good. He's another guy that we all are saying, oh, he'll be there at 30 and 31, or people on the board are, and he's one of the guys that I think he won't be. He's just too legitimate as a midfielder to miss out. Like, there's no significant deficiencies in his game. There are people that say, oh, he doesn't get as much ball, but that's because he knows how to play as a secondary option in midfield. You know, a lot of these guys coming through, like, that's why some of them are a bit erratic in their performance, is because they're used to sort of being the number one target at the TAC Cup level. Whereas Atley, he is a guy that can play that secondary role, and every team needs that guy. Absolutely, it's a super important guy, but I think he can be more than that, which is what's really exciting about it. I'd love to see him encouraged at AFL level to actually step up and say, hey, I reckon I can actually be the number one midfielder, and if he does that, then he could be. Then people will be kicking themselves for not picking him, frankly.
I'm not sure what the knock on him is, because he's had literally no press all year. You say he doesn't get enough of the ball, but he did average over 20 touches a game at TAC Cup level. We had a pretty good championships in the 3 games that he played there. He kicks goals, he wins the ball, he lays crunching tackles. He's like a bulldog at the packs. He's got great pace, good endurance, really nice skills. I think there's a hell of a lot to like about Joe Atley, and if he's available, I think he would be one of the smartest picks we could pick with pick 30 or 31. You say he may not be there, he may go earlier. I'm not sure. I reckon he might be there.
For me, I mean, I wasn't making a criticism of his disposal numbers, but of the fact that, like, because he's a second option, when he does get it, it won't necessarily look as damaging as if it had been the guy that's like, okay, if he gets this, is going to be an absolute gun clearance. You know, he's sort of the one that can sit just a little bit behind and react to what's happening quite quickly and adjust and make something from it. So that doesn't necessarily look clean or tidy, and it's certainly not highlightable.
I think he'd be the perfect foil for Ollie Wines, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially if Ollie Wines isn't third ruck. Sorry, Mish, what were you saying?
Again, I love him, and the first thing I loved about him was about the first minute of footage that I saw him was he got rid of the handball and he just beelined the person chasing the first handballer and just put the shoulder through their chest. It's like, yep, good. It just makes it so much easier for those around him because of the work he does off the ball after he's got rid of it. Like, he's not just to get the ball feeded out, and I've done my job. He then keeps playing team football.
Yep, he's a team player.
Yep.
And it's him, Paholke's another one that I'm so high on him because they play team football.
I love that.
Just get them to our club, please. I'm sick of our players not playing team football.
Yes!
Just get them here. All right. and I would reach for one of those two at 14 and 17. I know it's a drastic reach for Atley.
No, it's not.
I do rate Paholke higher. But again, everything you're hearing coming through is Atley's not going to go, earliest he's going to go is late 20s.
Yeah.
Astounding.
So that means that's which I find amazing.
Yeah.
Clark's not going to go till late 30s. Paholke's not going to go to 40. And I sit there and go,
Are you
what
watching
am I
football?
well, that's it. It's like I'm watching football and the others are looking for talent. And I sit there and go, we had this debate about someone the other night, and it's like, what's so special about him? The head. He knows how to play football.
Absolutely.
Game is 90% above the shoulders. These guys have it.
And when you got that in a game changing position too, like, you know, they're not sort of going to be restricted from getting exactly as involved as they want to be. So that's why those guys that we just talked about, like, that's why they are such fantastic picks in this draft, and particularly for Port Adelaide, considering it's our weakest area. Sorry?
Yeah. Drew's another one for that group.
Yes, absolutely. I assume we're going to talk about him next, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a few names that we've just mentioned that we're going to talk about. Look, for me, I'm pessimistic Macca is going to come out. I reckon we're going to overlook Atley with 30 and 31, and you can just about bank on the Crows picking him up with their next pick at pick 43 or whatever it is. And I will be turning off the podcast and sitting in the corner crying, I think.
Here we go. Oh, no. We're taking our time. We said, look, Essendon, you decided to do this. We're gonna play the game as well. Because look, North Melbourne are picking after us here. So
people are worried about me.
Let's just make them wait. Let's just make them wait.
Oh no!
My heart is pounding here.
If we don't pick Atley, then the Roos will
pick is in.
pick him.
Pick is in.
Ooh.
Here we go. Pick 32, Port Adelaide.
Okay,
Pick 32, Port Adelaide.
I'm worried. Who are we going to pick? Who are we going to pick?
Oh,
Who do we pick? Who do we pick? Who is
Joe Atley! Joe Atley! Oh,
fuck yes!
Oh, what man! I've been banging on about Joe Atley for about 8 months. Oh, this is...
Macca, this is amazing.
I'm going to go and masturbate in the toilet for 5 minutes. This is incredible. I can't believe
this
it.
one more to go. We can still get for hockey as well. Or Drew. We can still get for hockey or Drew. Or Clark. We can still get hockey or Drew or Clark.
Joe Atley. I'm literally in tears here. I'm
not there, but holy shit balls.
That is great. Oh, that is the exact sort of player that we need. Inside mongrel, super pace, great skills, kicks goals, leader. He's going to be a superstar, Joe Atley. That's as good a pick as we've ever had.
All right, let's talk about the third player, pick 32. As I said on draft night, as we were drinking some beers and on the search for potato gems. We saw St Kilda pick Ben Long. We saw Geelong pick Brandon Parfitt. Patrick Lipinski went, McLarty went, Begley went, and we thought, hey, you know what? The players that we want on this podcast are going to be available with this pick. And the excitement that we had when they read out the name Joe Atley from Bendigo Pioneers was ridiculous. We've been banging on about him all year. He's 186 centimetre, 84 kilo, inside midfielder. Averaged 18 touches a game for Vic Country, 4 clearances as well. Built that up to 21 touches and 6.5 tackles a game for Bendigo. Look, for the second year in a row, we've picked my favourite player in the draft pool, so I'm absolutely cock-a-hoot, mate. Bring it on.
Joe Atley is going to be the next Anthony Stevens.
No way.
No, who's yours? Who do you reckon then?
Please don't say the next Michael Stevens.
I just told you I loved him last week when we talked about the first time I saw him about the team footy that he plays.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just over the moon to get this kid. Right.
Well, look, Mitch, you're missing the point. Which 2000s superstar is he going to be?
Which 2000 superstar? God.
Yep. You got to name one. It's compulsory.
I got to name one. Name one. You got to name one. It's not Ashley Sampi, that's for sure. Sorry.
He's the next James Bartell, quite simply.
Oh, that would be good.
That's an interesting
I don't reckon
name.
That's quite right. I don't know. Is that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not probably too far off.
You reckon? Okay. Well, friendly medalist. That's all right.
Yep. Who pops up when you need him? Does the team things? He's got other stars around him that take all the limelight.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
All right. So we've come out of this with Tread, Ray, Judd, and Bartel so far. So we're drafting pretty well so far. This is good.
Unbelievable. Look, I had him at 9 on my list. I think, Mish, you had him at 12 on yours. Portia, you were banging on about him all year as well. Obviously, we're pretty happy with his pick. And just how important is it to pick another inside midfielder like this, like a raging bull like Joe Atley, who can help out guys like Ollie, Boki and Robbie Gray as well?
For me, I felt that our criticism of the Port side of being terrible kicks, I think there's something to it, but I don't think there has ever been anywhere near as much to it as we've talked about. And I think that we've identified that, and I think the club's identified that, and that's why we want these inside midfielders. Because like a guy like Travis Boak, like he shouldn't be an inside midfielder. He should be in that sort of mid-space or even outside, like that would be ideally where he should be, but he's just, because our midfield has been so weak, he's been constantly crunched for years. You know, like, and we talk about, Robbie Gray should play midfield more. Well, I mean, with guys like Atley in there, maybe he can. Maybe Wingard can get in because Atley's the one getting thumped all the time.
Well, again, I did a best 22 today, and I put Boak out in the wing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I've got the big bodies going through the centre, and the quick hands of Wingard and Gray going through that rotation. Like,
Yep.
Because you got Pal Pepper can play forward, you can virtually rotate those three through the centre in a forward spot.
Yep.
By themselves. And Atley can rotate through the bench with Wines and and you have Hartlett and Ebert running through there, and all of a sudden got bloke racking it up on the outside.
I mean, because we know Boak can kill that role. He can absolutely kill that role. Like we're talking about, we need to add someone to compete with Pollock. I mean, Boak will kick Pollock out of the water if Pollock doesn't have a consistent season. Like he's a good kick. He's a good kick when he doesn't have blokes hanging off him and no free kick. So I think this is a monumental draft for us in terms of our potential side. And like we said on draft day, I mean, that's added a year to probably Boak and a year to Robbie Gray as far as their careers, I would reckon, at least.
Yep. And what? Atley is good on the outside too. He's all
right, yeah.
But he covers the ground, he gets to positions. And dare I say, having said he's not quick, there are times when he can turn on the speed and you go, where the hell did you pull that from?
He gets the vision and he goes, aha, that's what I'm going to do.
And some of his overhead marks, it's like, oh, well, you're not in this contest. The next thing, all of a sudden, he's up there. It's like, wow, where'd you pull that from? That's not your normal game.
Good comment from Bevan on Spreaker Chat saying that we currently have the second most players eligible for the Rising Star, just behind North Melbourne. So, I don't know, like, are we talking maybe Joe Atley comes in, he gets a Rising Star nomination?
Oh, well, I want to open up a betting account and go for Pal Pepper, thanks.
Yeah, it probably makes sense. Well, for the winner anyway. For the winner.
The last odds I saw, he was at 50s on one website, and I thought, really should be joining up. I don't fucking bet on footy, but...
Yeah, no, fair enough.
That's so bloody tempting.
Yeah, I might get on that one.
I think it's pretty clear that should he stay fit, Joe Atley's going to play AFL footy next year. How much do you think he can actually play?
Look, I mean, because we're putting him in one of the most physical roles on the ground, again, I'm going to say 10 games, but he might surprise us. But look, it's more important to me that he manages to get out of them without being horribly injured. So I would rather be cautious.
Yep. I assume he gets through pre-season. I'm chucking him in game 1 against Sydney.
Yep, for sure. Oh, for definitely against Sydney.
Mate, you're going to find out what AFL is about. You're either going to stand up or you're going to go back to the SANFL to learn your craft.
Yep.
So, and again, because it's physical, I don't think he's as strong as Pal Pepper, so I'll say 14 games, with most of the missed being through resting.
Yep.
I'd be happy with that. 14 games.
Would be pretty stoked with 14, for sure.
That'd be good. Yeah, I think we're all pretty happy with that pick. That's a good one. I still can't believe we actually picked him. It's amazing.
Well, we were kind of dreading it.
It's almost like
after
often,
your text
I think
Friday night.
Often when you like someone that much, you just think, oh, someone's going to sneak in and bloody pick him the pick before us or something like that. And
like
I
a Miles
really
Paholke.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like Miles Paholke to the Crows. I thought Essendon would be a chance for Atley. I thought Collingwood might be keen as well. But for him to land there,
I don't know
for us
what
actually
Collingwood are
pick
keen
him,
on.
happy days, mate.